Sup everyone, welcome to another video, and as you guys can see, we just finished watching the Honkai Star Rail Trailblazers thing, and on screen you see they're doing some sort of welcoming event where you can collect logins, and what you guys see, these are the limited banner tickets. You get 10 limited free summons if you log in for 7 days. Now, yes, this is one of their ways to combat reroll accounts, but as you guys will see, people who are going to reroll are going to reroll. Now, followed by that, you got free registration award. All this stuff is pretty straightforward. When it comes to Honkai Star Rail, if you guys are unfamiliar with Hoyoverse titles, they take a lot of inspiration from Genshin models that have proven to work, but the IP is used from the Honkai IP. And if you guys have never played Honkai, never played Genshin, this is your first time watching these videos about Honkai Star Rail, well, welcome. The name's Walrus. As you guys can see on screen here, this is the standard banner characters. There are two different banners. There's the standard banner characters and the limited banner characters. What you guys see on screen, these are the standard banner characters. The limited banners are going to be Seely for the first half. She's an electric scythe user. Now, if you've never played these, don't worry, the weapons don't matter. It's just a characteristic of the characters as less important to dealing damage. This is the second half character, Jing Yuan. Again, don't worry about the weapon because there are other systems in this game that will force you to pull for instead of weapons. They're called light cones. Currently, I'm not able to find it here, but if I find it later, I'll throw it up on screen and show you guys. So yeah, you're essentially summoning on two different banners if you want to complete a specific character. There's plenty of events in the game that are going to accompany the first patch. What I want to warn you guys about is if you've never played Hoyoverse titles, like they're not very well known for having an expansive endgame system developed. Oftentimes, to cater towards a bigger audience, they will have the game kind of reach a stale point, meaning you'll reach endgame fairly quickly. And as long as you follow certain meta builds guides, you won't really struggle with clearing content. Now, when it comes to Honkai Star Rail, we don't know how it's going to be. All we know is that it's a turn-based RPG game that's coming out on April 26th, right? You heard it here. April 23rd, you can start pre-registration. April 26th is when the servers will go live and people are going to rush in. Hopefully, the servers can handle the amount of players that are rushing in. But on top of that, we also have to talk about the regions that the game is being released. Apart from the original 2 regions you guys have seen in the CBT, there's also going to be an additional sub-region. Now, how important is this sub-region going to be in terms of content? They did not share that information. The additional region is going to be a part of Xianzhou, I believe, as it has similar architecture to this place, Chinese-centric. Now, I don't want to be that guy, but as people who have played Genshin Impact, you would know Hoyoverse seems to have a preference for characters that are coming out of the Chinese region because, you know, they take a lot of pride in where they're from, and characters from these regions tend to just be a little bit better than others. Now, standard banner characters, if you've played Genshin, again, I'm using Genshin as a reference because I know a majority of the people who watch my content already have an experience in Genshin. It's extremely similar, right? A lot of the certain archetypes of characters are very reminiscent of Genshin's current existing rosters, with a couple key differences to note about, and that is the introduction of classes. Now, there are 7 different classes in Honkai Star Rail, and with each different class, there's a class tree, and on top of that, each different class specializes in different things. There are classes that are just designed for DPS. There are classes that are designed for healing, buffing, CC, right? Debuffing, everything. There's 7 different categories. Now, we can go into detail in future videos when it comes to meta guides and whatnot, but I'm also still learning for the game, so excuse me if I'm currently not the most up-to-date and knowledgeable on everything Honkai Star Rail. Furthermore, there's news and information regarding a PlayStation version for Honkai Star Rail that is still in development. Now, when this is coming out, they did not specify a date, but just know that it's in development, and what you see guys on screen right here is actually PlayStation footage. It's pretty much matured in my opinion. They're probably just ironing out some things here and there, and for the vast majority of this, you guys will see there's really no issues. It's holding at a pretty impressive frame rate. I believe it's like 30 or 60 maybe, but I'm not sure. I don't own a PlayStation, but the contents of the game seems to be very rich already. The combat system is actually far more dynamic than you would believe for a turn-based RPG. A lot of the great things about Honkai is that they've taken what worked for Genshin when it comes to development and also just character quality, combat fluidity, and they've moved it into Honkai Star Rail as expected. The biggest strength of Honkai Star Rail comparative to other turn-based RPG games and just other RPG games in general is the amount of polish, and I've said this for Genshin as well. There's a lot of effort put into making sure players feel satisfied when playing the game, as you guys can see on screen. A simple character's burst skill having this much intricacy and detail. I know people are saying like, oh, it looks cool now, but eventually it's gonna get old, right? Imagine if you're just running into mobs, you want to clear them as fast as possible, but you got to look at this like 6-second animation, and there are features to increase the speed or just simply skip through it. Now this is a boss fight, as you guys can see already. There's 2 different phases and there's mechanics that it's not as simple as just go in and smash your OP characters at them and beat them. I'm sure that also works, but certain bosses with different mechanics will prove to be a nuisance to players who are low spenders or just completely free to play. Now as you guys can see, the demo here is about to get wiped, and that's where actually I'm noticing the importance of bringing healers. So it seems like Hoyoverse has learned their lesson from the Genshin title, where an entire category of their characters were pretty much obsolete. Now I don't know if it's just them showcasing a bad gameplay here against this boss, or is it actually necessary for healers to exist in this game? Is it possible to just buff yourself out of the wazoo in terms of damage and just blow through all content like we do in Genshin Impact? So that aspect of the game, how they're going to balance it, we have to wait and see in game. But currently, from a business perspective, you ideally want to incentivize the use of all characters and not just your DPS characters. Again, similar to Genshin, it seems like there's only 4 characters, meaning there's only going to be so many team slots for you to work with. Now, other notable features is, if you guys remember, there is a standard banner and a limited banner. Unfortunately, my face is covering it, but what it covers is that there's a 20% off for a set of 10 warps, which is summons, and a 5-star character is guaranteed within 50 summons. So if you guys like any of these characters on screen, there's a chance for you to get one of them for 50 summons or less, right? It's just a beginners friendly banner. I'm not gonna say it's free to play friendly, but it kind of is, especially if you're just playing the game and logging in and collecting all the free stuff they give you. I believe they give you up to 40 already, so it's almost like it's free, right? Just play through the game a little bit, maybe get some summons, get some gems here and there, and you're gonna get the free character. Now this is the thing, right? Which one of these characters do you guys want? It's up to you. Do some research, right? Because remember, there's 7 different categories in this game, and right now I see 7 different characters on screen. There's like I believe Jeopard is like a defensive character. Clara is like a tank or like a damage sponge. Welt is for CC. Bronya is for buffing. I think Yanqing is a DPS. Bailu is a healer. If I remember correctly, these 7 characters all do different things. If you're like a damage enthusiast, there's a good chance you're gonna want to pull Yanqing. If you like certain characters' outward appearances, remember you have a 1 in 7 chance of getting these characters. That's all I gotta say, really. Good luck, everybody. I think the game is going to be wildly successful. On the 26th of April, it's coming out officially. I unfortunately am away during that time. I leave on the 26th, so maybe during the day I can record, right? Get in the game, record, do a bunch of stuff and see what I can do for you guys. But unfortunately, I'll be away for up to 2 weeks. Well, 12 days. I'll be back in 12 days. So hopefully I'm not going to miss too much, and I'll do what I can for that day. Now, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Erotic Walrus. Subscribe if you guys haven't. Expect some Honkai Star Rail content to come out, and depending on how the game looks, I'll maybe spend some money here and there, but I'm not going to wail like I did on Genshin, because I ended up regretting a lot of decisions, even though I do make some money and make content for it. But it's just, I feel bad having all these characters sitting in my storage not doing anything, right? So maybe I'll pick and choose this time and be a little more selective with the characters I pull. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I urge you all to stay safe. Peace, bye bye.